everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Lydia here with your new moon reading in Cancer for July 5th, 2024. And boy, have we seen some incredible changes over this last, 6 months or so. Having this new moon in Cancer, it's going to be a little bit of emotional. I can see that because Cancer is a very emotional sign. But also tapping into the emotions that you can utilize in order to make changes within yourselves and within the world around you. So in other words, if you utilize the power of emotions, this is a most wonderful time to be able to manifest. So taking that into consideration, know that your emotions may be heightened as per usual because of new moons and full moons always have higher emotional time periods. Plus, it's amplified even more because we're just on the outskirts of the solstice, and of course, the full moon amplified the solstice as well. So, yeah, we're feeling it, and we're going to be feeling it this month as well, especially with this. But know that because it's the new moon, we can manifest. This is a perfect time for letting go of the old, bringing in the new. Excuse me, and you have to let go of the old in order to bring in the new. And when you add your emotions to that, when you add the positive emotions and this desire and gratitude for what it is that you're saying, basically throwing out there to spirit to have done, then you know that your manifestation is going to be amazing. So having said that, let's go right into the new moon reading. The first, I've got two decks actually that I'm going to be working with this time around. We're going to be working with the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette Baron-Reid. So I've got two cards with that. They're kind of alternating with the Moonology Message Oracle deck. That's by Yasmin Boland. That's one of her newer decks. So let's go ahead and start with our first card. We've got the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, and it's Deep Knowing. So here we have the power of our wisdom. We have this inner knowing within us that is going to allow us to know what to do with different opportunities, to be able to recognize what is right for us using our intuition. That part of us that is governing where we go on our life purpose path. It has been a gift that we've gotten from the very beginning from the divine, and basically using it as we make any type of decisions. This could be a time for making some decisions, and also knowing that we have the opportunity to know who is right for us at this time, to specify to spirit that what resources we would like to have within our lives if we're basically doing creative projects, a time of creativity, and recognizing the people that could come into your life that would help you during this to support. This could also you could use this opportunity to find your deep knowing, the wisdom within us. For spiritual purposes too, recognizing that we can tap into our Akashic records or find someone that does and ask them to help us along our path if there's any questions that we have. So this is a wonderful time because it can bring in new opportunities. We can recognize that we know we have the newness that we can access and manifest that which we want in our lives at this particular time. So this deep knowing is also that wisdom within. Also recognizing that if you don't access that wisdom that is within you, then is there a blockage in your clarity for accessing anything? So at that point too, it's great to walk in nature, get kind of ground, take some time for yourself and rest if you need to. Seek out energy work to balance that energy and let go of the blockages that are preventing you from knowing what to do next, what your clarity is, what the deep knowing is within you, that wisdom, to access the wisdom that you have. Because we also have this opportunity too, to as we tap into our wisdom, we can use that wisdom from many incarnations to affect what we are doing in our life right now, currently. We have so much, and in fact, because of our evolutionary consciousness happening at this time on such a huge rocket of development at this time, we can access the incarnations that are folding into this particular lifetime for the wisdom, for many different things, technology, just the intuition and the spiritual growth that happened back then. So there's a lot of intuition that we do have within us that we're not actually using as much as we should. So in this case, and especially some of us may not be following our intuition as much as we want to. And this is the time to recalibrate and say, yes, you know what? I am going to be following my intuition. This is something that I really need, especially when it comes to matters of the heart, legal matters, especially, or any type of decision making that is very pertinent to the financial or in your economic status. So taking a look at that, that's the deep knowing. We've got a secondary one here. It's the in the Moonology deck, and it's the moon's moment, synchronicity. I mean, talking about the fact that we do have a lot of synchronicity. When we recognize the synchronicities that we do have, it's extraordinary. When you have the capability of knowing that everything is happening in your life for you to learn from, it's paramount. It's amazing, especially since you can draw from that, knowing that your experiences create who you are and what has created you who you are today. And that is a pretty awesome person. Just say that. A pretty awesome person. You've been through a lot and you've gotten to where you need to be today through all of the lessons that you've learned, and either some have been resolved and some have not. So if you're still working on things, those are the ones that you're resolving at this time, in this lifetime. So let's look at the moon's moment. I'm just going to have a little find out where it is here, because I'm going to read it from the guidebook today. Just because there's probably a little bit of tidbits in here that I'm not aware of when it comes to the moon. Something is flowing in the right direction for you when this card comes up. Everything is either already falling into place or will do so very soon. Even if you fervently believe that you create your own reality, as I do, there are times when events have an almost destined feel. And this is one of those times. So destiny is following us. You could perhaps attribute it to a life unfolding and revealing the lessons our souls need to learn in this lifetime, which is what I was just talking about. There is synchronicity here at work. You're exactly where you're meant to be, learning the lessons that you need to learn. Everything is lining up as it needs to. So trust the process as much as you can and stay optimistic for your desired outcome. Whatever the situation you're asking about, know that it's not a random development in your life, but a step along your path and meant to teach you. The sooner you pay attention to the lessons, the sooner that you'll be able to navigate your way to where you want to go. And it's wonderful to recognize synchronicities in your life. The more that you do, the more appear for you. Especially if you're grateful for it. If you send out the gratitude energy, boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, synchronicities come around. And these are good synchronicities I'm talking about. Additional meanings that might include any specific to anybody else. Divine timing is unfolding. So everything that we have is in divine timing, and we do have to have patience for that. Events now have a purpose. You're in the right place at the right time. And of course, everything happens for a reason. Or there is a reason why everything happens. So for looking at it from two different points of view. So in this symbol, the moon knows exactly where she should be at any one time, and so do you. So this is tapping into that innate. In fact, it's actually reflecting upon the first card, which is that deep knowing, tapping into that innate side of us that recognizes a synchronicity. The soul recognizes synchronicities. We, because we have a conscious representation of what the soul looks at, we might muddle that up a little bit and not recognize things, especially depending upon where the body is at that time. If the energy needs to be unblocked and allowing you to see a little bit more clarity within your life to recognize the synchronicities, then that might be done. That might have to be done before you actually see anything else. Knowing that, when you see synchronicities, especially when this is coming up for the new moon, you can recognize at this time that you are in a highly manifestation period. So be careful what you're throwing out there, what your energy of thought is, or what your verbal expression is. Recognize that you will need to be on the positive side. Recognize that your reality is there for you, and that you definitely don't want to put out the negative. Because with like attracting like as universal law, our energy that is out there can either be positive or negative. And when I say negative, it's not necessarily negative. It's about the lessons that we need to learn. If we want to bring in a lesson, that is our choice. That's our free will. So having said that, that's the moon's moment. So let's look at the next card that has to do with the new moon. Orphaned. Okay, so in this orphaned, there we go. I'm trying to get the color there. So I'm going to actually take a look at what it says in the guidebook, just to offer some more guidance from what is said in here, and see what the essential meanings are. A sense of loss, an identity crisis, recognizing that you don't fit in, the need to belong, uncertainty about your place. And that could come about, especially we're heading into the early parts of July. It's a new 6-month change, I guess. It's a little bit of a shift. I'd say June is the transition month to a whole new set of energies that are coming up from July to December. And if you want to know a little bit about those energies, check out my 6-month reading, which is upcoming, if not posted already. And basically, you'll have an idea of what is coming up per month per month. So let's look at the message that is in here. We're all meant to have connections with other people within our families, society, and the larger culture. And this is interesting because this really coincides with the very first card that I had pulled for the 6-month reading. No man is an island, and it's important to recognize that when being a part of, that we recognize being a part of rather than separate from is essential to your well-being. And this is extremely important. It's very interesting how this comes up with the new moon and how it coincides with the first month. In the reading I was talking about. The issue at hand is the need to find where you fit in. Be true to your core truths and values. Perhaps you no longer identify with a group or community the way that you did before and need to find a new situation. And this was very, very, very pertinent. Like I said, go take a look at the 6-month reading. It's really amazing. You might be feeling a deep sense of loss or confusion, especially if you have to exercise your personal boundaries and cut people out of your life. Address the need for belonging and know that you will find your place with others of like mind and spirit. It's okay to let go of pressure to fit in. Not everyone will understand you. It's time to move on. And it's interesting because this is the dynamics of the relationships that are happening at this time anyways. It's been happening for several years, but basically it's really looking at that and seeing how the feeling of aloneness is what a lot of people are feeling at this time. So if you do have that support network, go for it. Go and talk to them. Don't sit by yourself, or don't stay in that state of depression, because that could ruminate into more and more, and then you kind of get sucked in that. So that's that energy you really don't want to have. In this case, we're looking at a time where we're some of us want to feel like basically be by ourselves. I would say that's a lot of what light workers think at this time, or feel that at this time. But also, due to the nature of the new moon being in Cancer, it's a flow of emotions. This is not necessarily the time to be alone and wallow in your own pity, if that makes any sense here. Be with the community that you have, that maybe even just one or two good friends that you know very well, or family members. And if you don't have that, then talk to Spirit. Ask Spirit to bring that community to you. This is where we're finding our tribe. We are definitely finding our tribe, and this might be actually more also synchronous in our lives at this time too. So, having said this, we're going to go into the last card, which is Moonset Releasing. So, of course, the full moon is all about releasing, but this is also a time of releasing too. Thinking about this too, we're dealing with quite a bit of emotions, and we're at this this want and desire to find the tribe that we want, sometimes it does require letting go of people. So releasing is part of that. But knowing that we may or may not feel that we're ready to do that. This is just saying that basically you will be, as you're releasing anybody that or any energy that does not serve you, that there will be this opportunity opportunity to bring in someone else and or something else that is much better for where you're at. Don't forget that this next 6 months, we're going to be leveling up in a huge capacity. I'm talking huge. I don't know how much more I can tell you how huge it is. Our spiritual development is growing like exponentially within the next 6 months and then some. And this is because we're getting set. We're getting ready to really see what the new energies are going to be like in the new earth. Why is that? Well, because in this time period as well, we're noticing the shifting and changing and drop downs of the systems that are currently in place. And it has to happen. In this case too, every time that we're releasing any emotional guck, for example, or resolving a past issue that had to do with fear or resentment, anger, rage, that we're holding on to through forgiveness and or acceptance of different things, we're letting go of this beautiful energy that either it's sent into the environment, and it's also anchoring within us and anchoring into the grid of the earth, which raises us both. So once the earth starts raising, we're along for the ride. And everyone is doing this. Everyone does have a particular leveling up that they're doing. Not everybody's leveling up at the same rate. Just put it that way. So we're all changing, but we're changing at different rates. So when we release, we're not only releasing things that are no longer serving us in this lifetime, because it could also mean incarnations or energies that are coming in from the incarnations that are being ready to release. So also keep in mind, when we do release things, when we do let go and deal with any energies or any past expressions of adversities or challenges in our incarnations, what we do is we are actually resolving them, not only from this lifetime, but from all lifetimes. This is the beautiful thing about this, is that it goes a whole long way. So it does prove that forgiveness and acceptance it does do something. It's not only doing something in this lifetime to make you feel more peaceful and allowing for that compassion to be let go into the world, creating and changing our reality, but it's also changing the realities of the incarnations we've had in the past or in the future. So yes, it's big. So having said that, let's look at moonset releasing. I know that was a mouthful. So I thought, well, let me just read something for you. Okay, so releasing, it's time to let go. Whatever you're asking about, offer it up to the divine. Excuse me, my throat's just bothering me here. Release it. Although you're constantly creating your own reality, there is something about your current situation that suggests what's done is done. You've played your part. Release. When you release an issue to the universe or the divine, you allow space for whatever is for your own highest good to take its course. As much as you might think you know exactly what you want, drawing this card suggests you need to allow the universe to show you the next best step. This goes right hand in hand with if we also want something that we're manifesting, try desperately hard not to be attached to the outcome of what you're sending out there. Because if you have the specific thing in mind, then you're going to be disappointed or of your own thought patterns. It's like, oh, I really thought it was going to be this. But the universe is going to give you something much, much better and a learning experience all at the same time. Just saying. Make the word acceptance your key word for the moment. So forgiving, accepting. Dance with what is. Trust that the universe has an amazing plan for you, because it does. Sometimes we need to accept that situations have evolved, even if we're not quite ready for them to do so. And that's what I was saying. It's like we might not be ready for things to happen, but at the same time, internally we are. We just consciously don't recognize that. When this card comes up, there's a sense that the emotional seasons are changing, so move on. Sometimes you just have to let go and let God in, or the goddess in. Additional meanings for this card that might resonate with certain people. Clinging on now won't help you. Trust your higher self is taken care of, and is taking good care of you, by the way. The goddess is by your side, the goddess meaning the moon. Tomorrow is another day, and declutter. Decluttering our mind, decluttering around you. Tell you that's my plan for the rest of the summer, actually. This is definitely one way of releasing. Decluttering is releasing as well. So about this particular symbol, just as moonrise is all about when the moon appears above the horizon, moonset is about the moon disappearing below the horizon, concluding her appearance in our skies for another day. And that to me makes a lot of sense about releasing, because it's also letting go of any attachments in general. Like just letting go to the attachment of something in your environment. It could be material, or it could be a relationship that you really need to let go of. There are energetic cords that tend to be attached to the people that we see. And when we are, when we accept them into a relationship of whatever kind, it could be romantic, it could be just like a friendship, a family member, then we either we form several different types of cords. We form loving cords, but we also could have the energy that comes in from someone else that is disrupting our own energy centers. And so at this point, especially if the energy from that relationship is over. So this is that time to let go of past relationships, and that coincides with orphaned. So having said that, let's look through all the cards, see the story. So the first one is deep knowing. Trust your intuition, trust spirit, trust the fact that you have wisdom within you that is guiding you and that you're going down the right path. In the second, we've got the moon's moment, synchronicities. Now, synchronicities, if you recognize synchronicities within your life, you are going to gain more and more opportunities and potentials for increasing the number of synchronicities you see. There's so many, we see so many of them, including repetitive numbers, 111, 1111, 222, 333. I'm saying those are synchronicities. They're very divine synchronicities, but also we're talking about situational synchronicities that are there for you to help you get through your life. Then the next is orphaned, and that is allowing yourself to let go of any relationships that no longer serve you. The dynamics of relationships are very real, especially now with the new moon in Cancer. But the whole idea of the new moon in Cancer is the fact that you can make new relationships and new community members that are aligned with where you are spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So the next and the last one we have is moonset releasing. So it literally tackles the whole set of the cards, and in this time period, releasing is very important. Releasing attachments to anything is very important. That doesn't mean that you're to release an attachment with a romantic connection. So if you're with you have a romantic relationship and a long term, it doesn't mean that you're stopping loving this person. It doesn't mean that you have to leave them. Detaching from someone, detaching is not the greatest word for things, but letting go of the attachment means just simply that you are choosing a path that doesn't take on the drama of someone else, that does not take on the lessons that this person has to learn, because they have to learn their own lessons on their own journey. You can support them, you can be there for them, to guide them or help them, hug them, anything that you're able to support them with, but not necessarily taking on their own, the world from them or from anywhere else. So that's that releasing, letting go of anything that is causing blockages for you to allow this new energy to come in and move you through the next leg of your journey, which is the newest evolutionary path that we're about to lead here. So, and it's getting real. It's getting real. This is really this is a perfect reading to actually start it off for July, being a new moon within the first week of July, knowing that the next 6 months, like including July, is going to be a transitionary, transformational. Yeah, that's an understatement. So synchronicities, notice them. Know that you have the power within you. You do have the wisdom, and you do know from all of the incarnations that you've lived here, whether it's here or wherever, you have that to draw upon to help you in your to clarify any decisions and to help you along your path. And you're not alone. No matter how you feel, if it's the orphan, you're not alone, because Spirit is always there with you. You always have your helpers. You have your guardian angels with you too. So talk to them, get things moving, and don't worry about this time. Allow yourself to be in a state of joy, to choose the peace in your heart rather than let things ruminate in your head. So I hope this helps, and I hope you have a wonderful new moon. If you can, do a ceremony if you're able to. A burning ceremony is wonderful. Just take a piece of paper, write down things you're willing to release if you so desire, because that's also a full moon thing. Or you can write down the things that you would really love in your life at this time, what would make you feel the joy in your life, and burn that. I love the burning ceremony. Burning is great. It allows all that energy to go into the ethers for transmutation and bringing it into form. So I hope this helps, and I hope that you subscribe to my channel if you haven't, like this video if you haven't, and go to my website, takebackyourpower.live or live, to sign up for my free newsletter, it's a weekly newsletter that gives you a channeled reading for the next week, and also card reading. Sometimes I kind of trade it up a little bit there, but basically it's a channeled reading that helps you to guide you for the next week, and things are getting really intense when it comes to that. So thanks again for watching, and bye for now.